Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons Today here on a Tuesday. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas break. Atlanta won over the weekend. We're going to jump into the latest Falcons news and rumors here on a Tuesday as we get ready for an interesting matchup on Sunday against the Bills and what is a must-win game, even though technically the Falcons are already eliminated in the NFC. We'll start though with this very interesting story about trading Matt Ryan to Pittsburgh. I said the Steelers a second ago. My thought was on this article here. There's an article out by Mike Sando of The Athletic that cites a league source, an unnamed league source, that mentioned Matt Ryan would be a perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he thinks the two teams could go ahead and link together and form a trade this offseason to send the veteran quarterback to the Steelers, who will be the replacement for Big Ben, because Big Ben, it's like a 99% chance he's going to go ahead and retire this season because the Steelers are struggling with him at the helm, and that is probably an understatement because the offense has been a shell of what it should be up there in the Steel City. So the Steelers likely moving on from Big Ben. The Falcons and Steelers get a trade to actually work out. Cap space is a little iffy. We'll look at that here. But if this was able to happen, we'll ask you guys in a second, would you actually want to do it, right? Think about this as we roll through here. So first, Mike Sando, Athletic piece, here's the quote. Matt Ryan is a name that would intrigue me. An exec from a team that has researched the quarterback market said, you are rebuilding in Atlanta. If you get a decent package for Matt Ryan, do you do it? He's a Pennsylvania guy, albeit from Philly. The Falcons would save cash. That one is interesting. You probably go 3 to 4 years if you are in Pittsburgh. I don't see Tomlin as a blow-it-up, rebuild type, end quote. And again, interesting. Not guaranteeing it, not saying it would be the best move for either team, but it makes sense in terms of the Falcons trying to go ahead and get a new quarterback and kind of do a full rebuild versus the kind of mini one they did this offseason. Now, the Falcoholic had a great write-up on this Athletic article. We'll throw that up on the screen right now. Quote, for the Falcons, trading away Ryan creates yet another big roster hole. Atlanta would free up about $8 million in cap space, or even more if they trade is designated as a post-June 1st trade. However, the Falcons could also find cap relief with an extension. The team has no realistic prospect to take Ryan's place on the roster. Falcons may be on the outside of the reach for the top quarterback or even top quarterbacks in the NFL draft, assuming there are quarterbacks worth going early, end quote. So it really comes down to, what do you want to do with Matt Ryan? Right now, I like Matt Ryan. I'm a Matt Ryan defender. I talk about it on the air here in Atlanta, the radio station that I work for. I'm a pro Matt Ryan guy. Matt Ryan's had a very good season, in my opinion. He has no offensive line, no running game, and no receivers on the outside, and really no defense. And so you put him in a good spot, it can make a lot of sense. So I don't want to trade him. But if the Steelers gave you a package you could not refuse, and you took away the Matt Ryan contract, that would free up a lot of money in free agency. That would free up, obviously, a draft pick, and so you would reset in the draft with one of the 4 quarterbacks and rebuild completely under Arthur Smith. And you remember, he's a young head coach, first-year head coach. He didn't draft Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's not his guy. Maybe he wants to go ahead and take his pick of the lot in the NFL draft and then restart from scratch. Now, who would the pick of the lot be? You see your quarterback options on your screen right now. Obviously, Kenny Pickett is probably the first quarterback to go, although I don't know if he goes inside the top 5. I think most of those teams are going to want to take a defensive player like Aiden Hutchinson or maybe even Derek Stingley. Then you have Matt Corral, who'd be a first-rounder. Is Carson Strong a first-round draft pick out of Nevada? I don't know. Maybe a second-round guy? Malik Willis out of Liberty, is he a first-round quarterback? I don't know. Either way, it's just an interesting thought process here as we head closer to the 2022 offseason. What to do with Matt Ryan, what to do with the cap space, and what to do with your draft picks as well. We'll obviously cover all that here on the channel. But first, pin comment during the ad break. Let me just ask you guys this. Would you consider trading Matt Ryan this offseason? If you would, type Y down below for yes. If you would not, type N down below for no. Moving on here today on our news and rumor video, we got to at least mention Kyle Pitts because we talk about Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts is talked about here in Atlanta. However, the fact that he is almost going to, well, he for sure is going to get to 1,000 yards receiving, but probably break Mike Ditka's record is no small feat here, and it must at least be acknowledged here on the channel today, so hence that's what we are doing. So Kyle Pitts is having a record year. I mean, he's having an incredible year, albeit quiet. He got a Pro Bowl nod, and some people on Twitter were upset about that, but if you dive into the numbers that you see on your screen right now, it's pretty darn good for a rookie tight end. 64 catches, 949 yards, 14.8 yards per catch, and 1 touchdown. Like, he's going to get to 1,000 yards. Like, it's a guarantee. The question is, will we go ahead and be able to break Mike Ditka's all-time tight end rookie receiving yardage number, whatever I'm supposed to say there. Mike Ditka's record at tight end as a rookie, he probably will, right? So Ditka in 1961 set the record at 1,076 yards. Pitts is at 949. Jeremy Shockey, the former Giant, was in second until Pitts passed him with 849. And Keith Jackson, a former Eagle in like the 70s, was there in the 4th place at 869. Like, I want to bring this up and emphasize this because I don't want you to lose sight of how great Kyle Pitts is. There's a lot of discussion right now in Atlanta about should we have drafted Penei Sewell? Or should we have drafted Micah Parsons? Or should we have drafted J.C. Horn? Or should we have drafted Patrick Surtain? Like, all these players are seemingly more important in terms of the actual fit on the Falcons right now. Like, the Falcons, having Kyle Pitts is nice according to some people, but you'd much rather have a pass rusher or a corner or a star left tackle. And I don't disagree with that, but I want to emphasize again, Pitts was a great pick. And the fact that Kyle Pitts is doing this kind of numbers in his rookie year with really no receiver help on the outside, like no one else to take away double teams from him with Calvin Ridley being out, is beyond impressive. And it shows me that he is just going to continue to ascend up the rankings as one of the best tight ends in the National Football League, right? Gronk didn't have these kind of numbers rookie year. Kittle didn't. Kelsey didn't. Antonio Gonzalez didn't. Antonio Gates didn't. Like, none of these great, the tight ends of our generation, or my generation, being 25, the past 20 years, was even close to these numbers. And this tells me that Kyle Pitts not only will break the record, he not only will be, one of the better tight ends in the league, but he could ascend to elite levels. And you think about Gronk during his prime, or Kelsey during his prime, Kittle during his prime, what a weapon to have for Matt Ryan or a rookie quarterback, as we talked about going into not only 2022, but beyond in the National Football League. I have no regrets drafting Kyle Pitts, and I think that these numbers show that you should not have any either. You guys think Kyle Pitts will break Mike Ditka's record? What do you think? Type 1 down below for yes, or type 2 down below for no. I think it 100% he will. So I'll type 1, but give me your thoughts in the comments section. Before we get into the NFC playoff picture here, quick shout out to our sponsor and friends for today's video at BetUS, chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Promo code Falcons125 gets you a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up and bet on the Falcons. With the NFL season fast declining or approaching the end, you want to get your bets in now in order to go ahead and enjoy the fun of sports betting. I mean, I have a blast sports betting. Do it, my friends at BetUS. Again, chatsports.com/BetFalcons. That promo code is Falcons125. All right, quickly here, NFC playoff picture. The Falcons are pretty much dead. It's not a guarantee. Like, essentially, look at this. The bottom part of the screen. 49ers and Eagles are sitting there at 8-7. You would need both of them to essentially lose out, which is no small task. I mean, I think that both of them are probably going to win at least one of their remaining two games. The Niners play the Texans on Sunday. Philadelphia has a Washington football team. You then got to hope the Vikings, of course, lose on Sunday to the Packers. That's a possibility. And then you got to win out. And so you have to go on the road and beat the Buffalo Bills. And the question is, can they actually do that? Like, I just don't see them being able to do that. I think most of us in Atlanta have assumed they're not going to make the postseason, but I did want to flash up the playoff picture there for you guys just to show that, yes, they're not mathematically eliminated, but their percentage chance of making it is at like 2% right now, and so don't bet on the Falcons to go ahead and make it the postseason. Before we get into quickly our final thoughts here on the COVID list, some injury updates for you to end the show. Make sure you guys are subscribed because regardless of if they make the postseason or not, we'll cover it all here on the channel. And if they don't make the postseason, we jump headfirst into the offseason, which to me is almost more fun than the regular season. I mean, you have a lot of great time in the offseason, news, rumors, draft, free agency, everything happening with the Atlanta Falcons, we'll cover it here on the channel. So go down below and subscribe. Finally here, Falcons COVID list, 4 players added to that yesterday. Brandon Copeland, Tajay Sharp, Dorian Etheridge was added, and James Vaughters as well. These are all positive tests according to everything I have heard, and so depending on vaccination status, as we know in the National Football League, these guys have to test negative 24 hours apart with no symptoms. The NFL, though, yesterday did reduce the amount of time you have to quarantine with symptoms if you're a vaccinated player from 10 to 5 days because, of course, all the science is saying the Omicron variant is much less serious, I should say, than Delta, and so you're just kind of having a slight cold, and that's why most people have Omicron right now, like not even that big of a deal. Either way, those are the 4 players that are in the COVID protocol. We'll see if more get added. If they do, we'll cover it here on the channel, but you want to be as healthy as you can when you go to Buffalo to take on a hot Bills team that just beat the Patriots in a game that you need to win if you want to keep your playoff hopes alive. All right, ultimate today on our Atlanta Falcons news and review video. I'm your host, Thomas Mott. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Plenty more videos coming up later on this week, and there are going to be some good ones. I got some fun stuff planned for you guys here. Again, for Atlanta Falcons Today, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. For the rest of your day.